So my relationship with Tiger was interesting because so I did this the first day I met him. That story I told you about. He drove up all by himself and he got out of his car and I met him. He introduced him, and I didn't know much about him. He had just sort of come onto the scene. I didn't have an opinion of him either way. It was like, okay, Tiger Woods, great, because he was famous, but he wasn't that famous yet. Here comes the next big thing. Okay, and he so that morning I got to know him a little bit, and there's some I have great outtakes of him over the years that I kept because I knew one day I would laugh at these things. But here's so first shot we're on the fairway, and it's about 250 to the green, and in the commercial, Tiger asks his caddy how far we got. Caddy tells him, and Tiger says, okay, I'm going for it. And that's all the line is. So I go up to Tiger, and we got 500 extras in the background, making it look like a big tournament, and he's standing there. And this is really the first time I think he's been around this hubbub, this big crew and everything. So he's wide-eyed and, Anyway, so I walk up to him and I say, okay, here's the scene. There's 2 cameras, one there, one's close on you, one's wide on both of you. Okay. So I want you to look at the flag, look at the caddy, and then, just in your words, not a script, just ask him ask him how far, however you would say that. So he says, is that what you want me to talk about, yardage? I said, well, what would you talk about? He said, and I'm going to use clean language here. He said, chicks.
Okay.
So I said, he's 21 years old, right? But he didn't say chicks. So I was like, my face just went, wide-eyed, and I put my hand over his mic because he was wired.
Oh my God.
And I looked back at Video Village, and everybody's like, their heads blew up, and he's so he was just like, oh. So I just said, so you would talk about yardage? And he said, yes, I would talk about yardage. Okay, so what would you say? Give me an example of what you say. Well, I would ask my caddy, how many yards to her? How many yards to her?
Oh my God.
That's hilarious.
So I was like, okay, that's good. Now let's talk about golf. So anyway, we were laughing and we had a good time. So so we went through that shoot, and part of the deal I made with Buick, so here's crazy Tiger stuff. They signed him to a contract, $16 million for 4 days. That's what they got him, 4 days over the year. And the question was, what are you doing with those 4 days? So
The question to you.
No, to them. Like, how do you manage those 4 days? They could do anything they want with them in those 4 days.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You're going to get Tiger 4 8-hour days.
Okay.
Do what you want.
Oh.
So Buick had to decide, how are we dividing this time up? So what they did was they would give 2 of those days to production. One day at a corporate golf outing with all their suppliers and clients.
Oh, I see.
Shake hands.
Yep.
One day at a big convention, meet and greet, meeting people, and that's how they decided to divide it up. But basically we're talking about $4 million a day.
Mm-hmm.
So they put two for production. So he's there. Every minute is ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. So you got to really be on the ball how you're shooting this. You can't have him standing around. So I had this conversation with the agency before and the client, how to maximize his time and how many commercials can we shoot in those 8 hours. So I spent time talking about it and thinking about it, and I came back to them with a plan. I said, here, in the best world, how many commercials would you want to shoot? Well, we have 4 scripts. And I said, that 8 hours, 4 scripts. Okay. All right, what are they? And I looked at them and I took them away. And I came back to them with a plan that was going to cost them a lot of production money, nothing compared to his fee. But I can get you these 4 commercials done in 1 day with Tiger. It's going to be a 3-day shoot overall because I'm going to tell you how we're going to do it. But the 1 day with Tiger, I'm going to get you the 4 commercials. Mm-hmm. This is how. So I came up with a plan where I took the 4 commercials, broke them down to all the shots that had Tiger in them. and we booked the golf course for a week. We closed the course down for a week. I pre-lit every shot that Tiger was in on the golf course. Pre-lit, pre-rigged, I had 3 cameras. I had 4 dollies. I had miles of track, and so we spent a whole day setting up every single Tiger shot on the golf course. So if you looked at a map at the golf course, you just see setups everywhere, and all the equipment was there. The only thing that wasn't there was a camera. So we had the camera. So as Tiger arrives that morning, every shot is laid out and lit. All he has to do is stand there, take a swing, let's move to the next one. And while we move to shot 2, that camera is being moved to shot 3. But the dolly's already there, and we've already rehearsed it. So the crew knows exactly what that shot is, shot 3. So they put on the dolly, here comes Tiger. This is the second commercial. He should have a green shirt on. Tiger, we put a tent up, Tiger goes in, changes his shirt, steps out, says something to the camera, boom, let's go, 3 takes, great, go change, you got a red shirt on for the next one, walk over to the next shot. So I spent a week at the course planning every single shot. Now, it cost them a ton of money production-wise because we had to get all that equipment, we had to spend that whole pre-light, we had to, but...
What is that roughly? Do we have a number?
We're just curious.
Yeah, just to get my... Just to get...
Just a head and
Yeah.
idea.
So just to get my crew out for a day, and we're talking now 1996, maybe?
Okay.
When Tiger first came out. Just to get my crew out for a day was $250 US. Just the crew and all the basic stuff. So now add all that extra equipment. So probably another $500 a day, just equipment. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. So
Yeah, but look what they're spending overall. I mean,
Yeah. And look
It's a
at what they're
big
getting.
deal.
Yeah,
Oh,
so-
my God.
So I got them 4 commercials.
That's
in
brilliant.
that day, and Tiger never had to wait for anything. It was like he stepped out, ready to go, ready to go, ready to
So
go.
the only thing you were leapfrogging is the camera.
A camera, and I had 2 set up, so we weren't waiting for that one. We'd go to this one, and that camera's ready to go. So
Right.
while
And
we're
you-
shooting that one, the other one's going to the next
Go
shot.
to 3.
Yeah, yeah.
So not only equipment, now I've got crews. I've got a second crew following that camera. The whole camera department, everything. It's a second camera department, so it grips everything. They're ready. These guys are taking this one apart that we just shot to move it to the next one. So we tripled up on crew too, but it worked. So it taught them and Tiger and Tiger's people how to be super efficient and how to make things fly on the day. Like we can get a lot done, So
They got the right guy doing it.
so, well, yeah, it was crazy because I would be there. It was like a military operation, and